3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Welcome back to TTMTrades. Today we're going to be talking about two different plays that I'm going to try to play this week. Both of them are short plays, but before we get into it, we'll talk about the S&P 500, ETF, SPY, and my overall thoughts on it and where the overall market is heading. Currently at 2,900 followers, trying to push that 3,000. So if you have not hit that follow button, go ahead and do so. But jumping right into it. All right, so looking at the ETF SPY, we said a while ago back on January 2nd, we said we'll continue to watch SPY rally up to 260, worst case 270 before the downtrend continues. Short TVIX. We've been short TVIX since 73.50, which we made some pretty nice profits on that TVIX short. Hold on, let me open up my trade journal. All right, so looking at TVIX, we did short TVIX. Oh yeah, we took a short position on TVIX right around 73, and then we covered our shares right around $56. Made about roughly $498 on a small position, but nonetheless getting back into the S&P 500. So looking at SPY, we'll go ahead to the weekly. So looking at on a weekly, you can see it was on a strong uptrend, and then as it began to pull back, it found support right on that 150-day simple moving average, as it did back in early 2016 when the market was kind of fluctuating. It found support right on that 150-day moving average and started a strong uptrend, and then as it began to pull back for some possible consolidation, again it found support right on that 250, that 150 period moving average. So it broke that 260, what we originally talked about, and then we said that next line of resistance would be right around 270, where you can see the 30 SMA is sitting at on the weekly chart. And as you can see, it's been in a nice uptrend, and now it's beginning to flatten out and turn downward. So I see an attempt for the bulls to push this up right into that 30-pair SMA on the weekly chart, right where a lot of this resistance is at, where you can see that consolidation was at for a good 6 weeks before it finally sold off. So as you begin to push back into that area, as you can see where a lot of traders and investors were possibly buying shares, as you begin to push back up into that area, they're possibly going to offload their shares onto the newcomers so they can break even and get out of there, which will cause a oversupply and begin to push this back down. So again, I watch for that 270 level with the overall S&P 500 before you begin to see an overall downturn. Now, if it breaks through that 270 level, then again, the next line of resistance will be right here, right around 285, which I highly doubt it'll push that high, but I would keep an eye on that level right around that 270 to 285. Now on to the two plays that I'm watching for the week. Take a GSAT. Did we point this one out? GSAT. So back on January 15th, we marked this one as bearish, and we want to kind of take we want to take a short position in this one right around 72 cent, back when it was fluctuating between 69 and 72. cent. We're starting to see this one burn out. As you can see, the volume was starting to flatten out. So we wanted to go ahead and take a short position in this one. Put my bid in right around 72. Was unable to get in, although it did jump up to 72 that following day, but my order was not executed. And then again the following day it jumped up to 71 and wasn't hitting 72. So I immediately went to hurry up and jump in before the breakdown. So I lowered my position down to 69 cents, and I jumped in at about a $10,000 total at 69 cents. And as you can see, it currently dropped down to 66 cents, which currently puts us up $514 overall. Now, where do I think this one is going to head and possibly find support? So we have two areas that we want to watch, which is right here, right around that 52 cents. As you can see here, that was the old line of resistance back in this channel when the price action was trying to break out, and then finally broke down. And then again right around that 47 cents, which is the current support for this channel. As you can see, it was fluctuating right here. So what we want to do is we want to short this down back into this area, and anywhere between that 47 to 52. I think right now I got my profit target right at 50 GSAT. Yeah, target price right around 50. That'll put me up right around $2,700. If I can hit that 50-cent profit target, and then exit this stock. So as you can see here, the RSI was holding above that 10 and 30 SMA, started to push into that oversold territory, and then as it broke down below that 10 period SMA, it had troubles breaking back above it, and then that's when we started to pay attention to this one for a possible short position, along with the different dojis and candlesticks that are forming at the top, showing a lot of indecision as far as between buyers and sellers. And then you can begin to see the volume was tapering off to show that it was no buying interest in that price range. So with that being said, hopefully we could short it down to our price target of 50 cents, which is right in the middle of this channel right here, and that'll put us up about $2,700 on our account. There should possibly be some accumulation once we push back down into this area. So if there is some accumulation and the volume begins to pick back up, showing buying interest in that price range, then we'll cover our short position and then enter a position to go long to ride this back up for a possible double top. Next up, what was our next one? Oh, CRMD. So CRMD, we're trying to take a short position in CRMD right around $1.75. Got a bunch of lines on here, so I'm going to delete these lines and go through this. Alright, so looking at ticker CRMD, as you can see here, as it pushed up into this area, we began to see a double top here with the price action pushing up into 240, and then pulling back into the support area on two different occasions, and then again trying to push back up into that area of resistance right around that 240. And then as it began to push up into the area, you see an immediate sell-off. So again, you get that immediate sell-off right around that area of resistance of 220 to about 240. Now, a couple things that make this one look a little suspicious. As you can see here, looking down at the PMO, when the PMO is holding above its 20-period moving average, that shows some short-term bullishness, but once it breaks above that 75, that shows some medium to long-term bullishness. So as you can see here, with each successive high that the CRMD was making, the PMO was holding steady above that 75-period moving average. Now it has fallen below that 20 and that 75-period moving average, and again it's sitting here trying to make a second attempt at that double top, but now the PMO is no longer making consistent higher highs. As you can see here, these highs are pretty flat, and then again it's falling below that 75-period moving average, and it's struggling to hold above its 20-period moving average. So that's showing that the overall momentum of ticker CRMD is slowing down. Now, another thing to pay attention to is the volume. On each successive high on this initial push, you can see this high spike in volume right here, and then on the next high, again, you get another spike in volume, and then on the next successive high, another spike in volume, and then again it attempts to push up again, another small jump in volume, and then on this final push right here, you get a smaller jump in volume with a large sell-off. You see that large spike in bearish volume, which shows this sell-off right here on CRMD on that day. So with that being said, if you look at this yellow line that we drew right here, the volume is tapering off on each push to go higher, which is showing that there's less buying interest in each attempt to push higher. So if there's not a lot of bulls and a lot of buying interest in this price range of 220 to 240, then sooner or later this one is going to collapse and fall back down into price ranges where the bulls deem this interesting. So as you can see, again, the volume on this high was pretty high, and then again it begins to taper off and get lower and lower with each push, and then you get this final sell-off right here. So this is all the reasons why we're taking a short position in ticker CRMD. So the plan is with ticker CRMD, we want to get in right around 175 and then hit our target price of about $1.30, and that'll put us up roughly $1,928 for a 25% gain. So again, looking at this, looking at that one standard deviation top Bollinger Band is sitting right at about $1.74, and then looking at Friday's price action, the range was from a low of 165 to about 180. So we're going to attempt to get in right around 175. We could attempt at 180, but I don't want to get greedy, so we'll put our bid in at 175 to short this one, and then we'll try to ride this back down to $1.30 where our price target is at for a profit target of $1,928. Now if it hits that 130 again, like I said, we'll get that $1,928 gain, and we'll be sure to put a stop loss to cover to lock in those shares. Now if it does break through that 130, that next line of support is right here at 93 cents, right where the 150 period SMA is holding. So again, we don't want to get greedy. We'll watch for that $1.30 to see how well that holds. If the price action breaks directly through it and shows no buying interest, then again we're looking at that we're looking at that $1.08 with a 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band is sitting at, and if it breaks through there, then we're looking at 93 cents for its last line of support. But again, like I said, $1.30 minimum is what we're aiming for, with a $1.75 entry to short this one. Again, you can see the volume is beginning to taper off with each successive push to go higher, and then your PMOs begin to fade out as it falls below its 75 period moving average and its 20 period moving average. So again, I'll keep an eye on this one. But those are the 2 plays for this week. We have our eyes on a lot of different plays. I'll pull over the risk management Excel sheet, all the different plays that we're looking at for this week. It's a lot of them. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to play each and every last one of them. My total account value right now is sitting at right around $15,500. So we're going to take a 50% position in each play. So that way we're making 2 trades the entire time, and we're going to take about a 6% risk on each one, which if we do take a 6% hit on that play, it'll only equal a 3% hit on our overall total account of $15,500. So a little more room to take on a little bit more risk. But as you can see, each play is right around $7,500 with about a 6% stop loss, give or take, with each play averaging anywhere from a 17 to about a 50% gain, depending on how we play it. But for now, we're only going to play GSAT, GSAT for the short, and CRMD for the short, and every other play we have on alert currently if it hits those target entry levels. Again, that's all I have. TTMTrades. Trade safe, protect your accounts, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that follow button. The premium chat room will be up soon. And again, if you're looking for a Discord room to join, we do have a Discord room. This is the link right here. It should be down in the bottom by the comments. That's all I'm at.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.